Good morning. It is time to skip the BS. Time for Undisputed. Time to talk Lamar Jackson, MVP, and Ravens Super Bowl favorites. This after that beatdown in the Bay. The 49er bullies getting bullied in their house by the 6-point underdog Ravens. The final score was 33-19, and it didn't even feel that close. Man, am I loving my preseason pick of Ravens winning the Super Bowl. Keyshawn had the Ravens in the Super Bowl. Keyshawn and I were the only two on this show who had the Ravens, quote-unquote, upsetting the 49ers last night. Michael Irvin, Richard Sherman, and Lil Wayne all had San Francisco winning last night. Michael will join us in just a few minutes to talk Cowboys, dead or alive. I'm not sure which they are at this point. But first up, Richard, you played for the 49ers. Did the Ravens look like clearly the better team last night?
Yeah, Skip, they played great defense. They had 4 interceptions, got a 5th from Sam Darnold at the end of the game. I mean, you can't win a game when you turn the ball over 5 times. Their defense was attacking all night. They were swarming. You got to give them a lot of credit. They forced Brock Purdy into bad passes. They tipped the passes away. They intercepted the football. Christian McCaffrey still had a really good game. But at the end of the day, those are the things that determined the outcome of the game. So they played a better game than the San Francisco 49ers last night for sure.
Ooh, that was quick. Man,
that's like no mas.
I ain't never heard you go that fast, Richard.
Yeah.
Hey,
I guess it is what it is.
It's over.
It is what it is.
What it is.
Yeah, that's true. Look, Skip, the Ravens dominated on both sides of the football, okay? Period. They just did. Yeah, and you talk about dominating, they physically outplayed the San Francisco 49ers. I picked them to go and win the football game. You mentioned that at the top, you and I both.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that they would just physically impose that will on them and dominate them to a whole nother level. Chris McCaffrey, yeah, he had 100 yards running, okay, whatever. They probably should have kept running the football early and often with him, but they played the Brock Purdy game. They wanted to try to They wanted to try to show up Lamar. My quarterback's better than yours. That's why they got beat at. Trying to be too cute and too smart in the situation. It's not about the stinger, okay? He started the game. And when you start a football game, that means you can play. I don't want to hear anything about, oh, well, his stinger will get better. I don't want to hear any of that.
Neither do I.
The guy on the other side of the field played like an MVP. On and off the field, he's done a tremendous job in his career. And when you watch what they did with those young receivers and Zay Flowers getting after him, but then a guy like Jadeveon Clowney, he all of a sudden became the number 1 overall pick in last night's game.
Agreed.
When I look at it, Skip, the lights were too bright, which is crazy as it sounds for the 49ers yesterday, but they were not too bright for the Baltimore Ravens. And you look at the statistical side of things, Lamar Jackson played phenomenal. He did what he could. As I said when we left this show on Friday, they've never seen a quarterback like this. Yes, they faced Kyler Murray a lot in San Francisco, but this is different. This is just a different, I don't want to hear any of this, he can't throw from the pocket. Oh, I worry about him in the run game. That's pretty much it. He can't do, miss me with that. This dude here is on a whole nother level than what you've seen before at this quarterback position with this style. Yes, we've had the Cam Newtons of the world and the Michael Vicks. We've had all those guys, even Jalen Hurts. But for whatever reason, he rises to the occasion. And then all of a sudden, the rest of his teammates are following him. And they rise to the occasion. Defense came to play. That's just the flat-out thing is they came to play and the 49ers did not.
Precisely. What I love the most about last night is that the Baltimore Ravens, with their play like a Raven tradition, went into San Francisco, where San Francisco has destroyed teams such as my team, owned that turf, and all of a sudden the Ravens walked on to their turf and said, watch this. And I thought they bullied the San Francisco Bullies in their house on their turf. And that defense is hellacious hard to deal with because they disguise and they smash and they smack. And just real quick, I just thought this was the play of the night for me was Marlon Humphrey challenging Debo on that little quick pass. If we could see this play, I just thought it was, I know it came in the third quarter. It wasn't like a first quarter tone setter, but most people don't do that. Most people just don't want any part of that. And Marlon Humphrey said, okay, I'll take my shot. And again, he did not knock Debo down, and Debo went on to get 6 yards. But just the message sent, this is one team that's not afraid of Debo. That was the lick of the year to me, even though it's not the smartest thing to do. And Keyshawn, if you want to get Debo down, you know, you obviously should go a little lower. It's just a message play to me.
Well, in football nowadays, and Richard can speak to this, for whatever reason, they don't wrap up.
No,
they don't. They just don't wrap up. If he wraps Debo at the same time the collision, Skip, he brings him down.
I think he was more interested in delivering a blow than wrapping up. That's just me.
Probably so.
Yeah, okay. Then we flip it around to Brock Purdy. And look, I always put everything back in the context of my Dallas Cowboys. We're going to talk about them in just a few minutes, dead or alive. But the point is, there's one way to beat San Francisco, and that is if the 49er quarterback self-destructs. And he is highly capable of self-destructing because he will try just about anything. And sometimes it'll work. Much of the time it'll work. It's worked much of this year. He was the MVP favorite coming into this game. And as I tweeted mid-game, that big whoosh that you just heard was the air escaping from Brock Purdy's MVP balloon, because some of the things he tried last night did not work. So let's just go. He threw 4 picks, could have been 5 very easily, and there was one other crazy play we're going to get to. But let's look at the first interception, shall we? He just late with the ball. It's Debo on a dig route, and Kyle Hamilton just sitting there. And I don't think he got fooled. I just think he was late. You got to throw this much sooner. There was a little window to get the ball, but
yeah, he has to throw it. As soon as Debo passes the linebacker, the ball's got to be out.
Got to be gone.
He led him too far over.
He looked and he looked, and then he came back. It looked like third option, and Kyle Hamilton didn't do anything to trick him. I didn't think he just stood there.
I mean, right here, George Kittle just needs to run his corner to the corner of the end zone to hold the safety, and it's a touchdown. I mean, it's not that hard.